King crab is a rare and valuable sea crab, caught mainly in cold seas such as the Arctic and some other cold seas. To catch king crab, fishermen need to apply specialized fishing methods and use modern tools to ensure efficiency and protect natural resources. One of the most popular methods of catching king crab is using crab traps, also known as trap nets. King crab traps are made of sturdy steel mesh and are shaped like boxes with open doors. These traps are usually dropped to the seabed where king crabs live, and are tied with ropes for easy pulling up after a certain period of time. The bait that attracts king crabs in the trap is usually fatty fish such as salmon or other bait fish. King crabs are attracted by the smell of the bait and will enter the trap. But once inside, they cannot escape. After a period of time, usually a few days, the fisherman will return to check and harvest the crabs. This fishing process requires precision and patience, because king crabs are not easy to catch and can also move far. In addition, to protect the marine environment and maintain king crab resources, regulations on fishing and the amount of crab allowed to be harvested are also very strict. Crabs must reach a minimum size and can only be caught during certain seasons to avoid overexploitation. In short, king crab fishing not only requires high technical expertise but also must comply with regulations on protecting marine resources, ensuring the sustainable development of this crab species. In addition to using crab traps, another method of catching king crabs is to use fishing vessels equipped with special equipment to detect and harvest crabs. These vessels are often equipped with locators and seabed scanning devices, helping fishermen determine exactly where king crabs live. After identifying the crab area, the ship will drop the trap to the seabed and continue to monitor with a positioning system to check the trap location. During the fishing process, fishermen also need to pay attention to weather conditions and sea currents. Because king crabs often live in deep sea areas with strong currents and low temperatures, dropping and collecting traps must be done under suitable conditions to avoid damaging the traps or losing crabs. When harvested, king crabs will be carefully inspected to ensure they meet size and quality standards, then immediately transported to processing or export facilities. Another important factor in king crab fishing is maintaining a system of protection and management of marine resources. Authorities and wildlife protection organizations have established conservation areas where king crab fishing is prohibited or restricted to prevent overexploitation. In addition, fishermen must also comply with seasonal regulations to ensure that crabs have time to reproduce and develop. King crab exploitation not only brings great profits but also contributes to the economies of many countries, especially those with abundant marine resources. However, without reasonable and sustainable management measures, the risk of king crab resources being depleted is very high. Therefore, the application of scientific fishing methods and compliance with environmental protection regulations is essential to protect this rare crab species, while maintaining long-term economic benefits for the fishing community and the seafood processing industry. To maintain sustainability in king crab fishing, advanced technologies and scientific research also play an important role. Many current studies are focusing on understanding the behavior and ecology of king crabs. in order to help fishermen more accurately determine the habitat of this crab and optimize the fishing process. The application of new technologies, such as underwater sensors and GPS tracking systems, helps fishermen monitor crab traps remotely, reducing the time spent on manual inspections and increasing the efficiency of harvesting. These devices also help fishermen track the movement of crabs, avoiding overfishing. At the same time, these technologies also help monitor the marine environment, ensuring that there is no encroachment or illegal exploitation in protected areas. The collected data system will provide important information to improve marine resource management and protection strategies, helping fishermen strictly comply with regulations. In addition, policies on king crab fishing are increasingly being improved, including regulations on limiting the number of crabs allowed to be caught each year, fishing seasons, and requirements on minimum crab size when harvested. Authorities will conduct random inspections of fishing vessels and crab traps to ensure compliance with these regulations. If illegal mining is detected, severe penalties will be applied. An important element in the work of protecting the king crab is education and raising awareness among the fishing community. The dissemination of sustainable fishing methods and environmental protection awareness is extremely necessary. Training courses on responsible fishing, marine resource management and how to use new technology in fishing have been organized in many seas, helping fishermen gain more knowledge to minimize the extreme impact on marine resources. Marine resources. Finally, cooperation between countries is also an important factor in the work of protecting and maintaining the king crab population. Establishing international consensus on sustainable fishing as well as sharing information on the status of the king crab population will help countries work together to protect this resource and avoid overexploitation in international waters. In short, king crab fishing is a profession that brings high economic value but also has many potential formulas for the work of protecting and managing marine resources. To ensure the sustainable development of this industry, scientific fishing methods, strict management from the authorities and international cooperation are necessary. Only then can the emperor continue to exist and develop, while bringing long-term benefits to the fishing community and the seafood industry to achieve sustainable development in the king crab fishing industry. Another important factor is the participation of scientific research organizations and environmental protection organizations. These studies not only help provide information on the reproductive cycle and development of king crabs, but also help detect early potential threats to crab populations, such as changes in habitat, marine pollution or invasion by other species. One of the solutions being applied to protect king crabs is the king crab aquaculture model, aquaculture. However, artificial breeding of king crabs still faces many challenges due to the requirements of natural habitats and the difficulty in breeding this species in captivity. However, scientists are still working to develop sustainable methods of king crab farming, thereby reducing the pressure on wild fishing and protecting marine resources. Another important solution is the implementation of recycling technologies and minimizing environmental impacts in the seafood industry. King crab processing companies are investing in clean processing technologies, helping to minimize the use of toxic chemicals during processing and transportation. This not only protects consumers' health but also contributes to protecting marine ecosystems. preventing pollution from fishing and seafood processing activities. It is also impossible not to mention the role of consumers in promoting the protection of king crab. With current consumption trends, consumers are increasingly interested in seafood products of sustainable origin and certified by international organizations. Choosing to buy king crab from certified sustainable sources, such as Marine Stewardship Council (MSC) certification, will create momentum for the seafood industry to develop in a way that protects the environment and sustains the life of this crab. In addition, strengthening the control and monitoring of fishing activities through satellite tracking technology and underwater cameras also helps prevent illegal fishing. The application of artificial intelligence (AI) in analyzing data on king crab populations helps predict the growth and distribution trends of this species, thereby supporting decisions on reasonable exploitation. In short, king crab fishing is not only a profession that brings income to fishermen but also an industry that has a great impact on the marine environment. To ensure the long-term development of this rare crab species, synchronous solutions from scientific research, technology, environmental protection policies to cooperation between countries and organizations to protect marine resources are extremely necessary. At the same time, each consumer can also contribute to the protection of king crab by choosing seafood products of sustainable origin, contributing to the long-term and sustainable development of the seafood industry. An indispensable factor in maintaining the sustainability of king crab fishing is the development of cooperation models between fishermen and management agencies. Government organizations and non-governmental organizations can cooperate with fishermen to implement education and training programs on sustainable fishing, helping them to be more aware of the importance of protecting marine resources and minimizing negative impacts on the environment. At the same time, building cooperative fishing communities will also create consensus and shared responsibility in maintaining resources. One of the important strategies in marine resource management is the development of marine protected areas. Marine protected areas can create safe buffer zones for king crabs to reproduce and thrive without being affected by overfishing. Restricting or banning fishing in these areas will help to rebuild king crab populations while also protecting diverse and stable marine ecosystems. Such conservation programs have been implemented in a number of countries and have shown positive results in maintaining the development of rare marine species. Monitoring and management of fishing activities will also become more effective with the help of modern technology. Satellite-based vessel tracking systems and underwater sensors can continuously monitor fishing activities and ensure that vessels do not violate regulations on fishing areas and seasons. These technologies also help to identify illegal fishing activities early and support authorities in handling violations. Technologies such as blockchain can also be used to create a traceability system for king crab. Ensuring that all crab products consumed are harvested legally and sustainably. In addition, promoting and developing sustainable aquaculture models can also be an important solution to reduce pressure on wild king crab populations. Cultivation of emperors in artificial environments not only helps meet the growing demand for consumption but also contributes to protecting wild populations from exploitation in the process. However, the development of cultivation also needs to ensure that the cultivation environment does not negatively affect marine ecosystems and other living species. Another important factor is the participation of processing and consuming industries in developing a solid supply chain. Emperor transformation formulas need to apply clean production processes, minimize waste and optimize the use of resources. At the same time, Emperor products need to be certified by reputable organizations, ensuring that they are exploited according to environmental protection standards and sustainable product irrigation sources. Building a system to supply king crabs with clear sources will help consumers easily choose legal and responsible products. In short, king crab fishing is not only an important economic activity but also requires management, supervision and cooperation among many stakeholders to ensure the sustainable development of this crab species. Scientific solutions, technology, environmental protection policies and community participation are key factors in protecting this valuable resource. To protect king crabs and maintain the richness of marine ecosystems, people need to be aware of the importance of sustainable consumption and responsible actions towards natural resources to continue to develop the king crab fishery sustainably. Improvements in the management and legal system are essential. Authorities need to create a clear and strict legal framework, including regulations on the number of crabs that can be harvested each year, the time and areas allowed for fishing. In addition, strict penalties for illegal fishing and overfishing are necessary to prevent the decline of king crab resources. Some countries have implemented quota systems to regulate the amount of crab that can be harvested. And these systems need to be improved, monitored and strictly enforced. In addition, an important factor that cannot be overlooked is the promotion of research and development of more effective methods of catching and protecting king crab. Research institutions need to continue to conduct research projects on the ecology of king crabs. Better understand the life cycle, factors affecting the growth and development of this species, thereby providing more optimal solutions for exploitation and protection. Understanding the migration habits, breeding time and important sea areas for this species will help fishermen exploit it more scientifically and sustainably. It is also necessary